Good evening. Welcome home. My name is Daniel Brower. I use he, she, or they pronouns, and I am the transitional minister here at First Christian Church of Decatur. Welcome to 601 Wednesday, First Christian Church of Decatur's midweek meditation moment, complete with all the alliteration you could ever need. I hope everyone is doing their best to stay cool out there as the heat dome continues to work its magic. Yay. So this week marks the end of Pride Month and the beginning of what is usually a very patriotic time period in our country. On July 4th, 1776, the collection of colonies that would become the United States of America seceded from Great Britain and signed a declaration of that fact. For almost 250 years, Americans have celebrated freedom for basically the whole month of July, but particularly on July 4th. Now, the Declaration of Independence has some great stuff in it, like the ever popular life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Notice how I didn't break into singing Hamilton there. You're welcome. And there's also some not great stuff in there, like describing indigenous people as destructive savages, or writing, "We believe all men are created equal," while still engaging in chattel slavery. The Declaration of Independence had the best intentions, and it still fell short. And this is not the only one of our founding documents that was well meant and poorly executed. For example, the Constitution. I have sworn to support and defend the thing, and it was busted when it was written. And even people in 1776 knew that. That's why it has had 27 amendments over the years, which are similarly generally well meant and then executed with varying degrees of success. In one way or another, this thing that some have called the American experiment can be described from the start as well meaning and poorly executed. The ideals of liberty and justice for all are still appealing right now, and in many ways they seem further off and less attainable than ever. With reproductive rights, marriage rights, and even citizenship called into question, it's extremely hard to feel any flavor of patriotic, no matter how many fireworks the city of Decatur sets off. Then again, this feeling of unease with our country of residence is pretty par for the course in Christian history. Long before Christianity was a popular religion, Christians were considered traitorous and unpatriotic because they didn't worship the gods of Rome or venerate Caesar as God. Rather, they welcomed and served one another regardless of national affiliation or religion, because they recognized a kingdom of heaven far greater than the kingdom of Rome. However, empire is insidious, and the best way to get Christians back into the national fold is to equate national pride with Christianity. Lately, you may have heard the term Christian nationalism thrown around a lot, and Christian nationalism is basically what it sounds like, equating following Jesus with the good of the nation and discipleship with patriotism. There are a lot of people who have done a lot more work on that and can explain it way better than I have. If you're interested in dialogue about this and reading more about this, the Georgia region of the Christian Church Disciples of Christ is currently doing a webinar series on Christian nationalism. The link for that is in the comments. Where are the comments on this video? Anyway, it's in the somewhere. I'm going to put it in for y'all so y'all can learn more about this if you would like to. So now with one thing and another, we're back to a time in history when being unpatriotic is seen as unchristian, right? We have American flags in our places of worship and 10 commandments in our classrooms, while our neighbors are imprisoned off the streets and their children are starving. This may be America, but this is not the gospel. So a couple weeks ago, I said these words and I didn't attribute them, but I'll rectify that now. In his song titled Long Live the Champion, Christian rap artist Kevin Burgess, or KB, has a line that goes, "Yes, I love the kingdom more than I love my nation. And yes, I love my neighbor more than I love his papers." I've been thinking about those lines a lot lately with deportations and concentration camps on the rise. History is repeating itself in probably the worst possible way. And that means it is time for history to repeat itself again. for Christians to become more than just patriots espousing the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever the thing is of the week, right? As followers of Jesus, we have to be more than Americans. We are called to a higher standard, one that values love of neighbor and dignity of humanity made in God's image, far above any kind of national pride or prejudice. If standing up for the rights of others and insisting on love, mercy, and justice makes us unpatriotic, then so be it. I would rather be unpatriotic than unchristian, because only one of those things has the power to rescue us when things fall into ruin, as they so often do in this world. So, if you're feeling a little un-American in this patriotic season, that's okay. America is not going to save us, and it won't last forever. The kingdoms of this earth never do. The only thing that lasts forever is love of God and love of neighbor. And that is what we are called to pursue, especially now. Now, that's easy for me to say in my office in Metro Atlanta. And I get the feeling that even for those of us who have it easy right now, this is about to get way harder. And, as Glennon Doyle often says, we can do hard things. And as the Apostle Paul says, we can do hard things through Christ that strengthens us. If you want to do these hard things, if you are committed to loving God and loving your neighbor no matter what happens, and you're worried about doing it alone, the good news is that you don't have to. There is a community here ready to support you and love you through it. First Christian Church of Decatur is an open and affirming, anti-racist, pro-immigrant congregation who worship together in spirit and in truth, even and especially when the world around us is so hateful and loud. We strive to do better every day, and while we're not perfect, we're making it happen. I invite you to come and see. Our Sunday morning service is, predictably, Sunday morning at 10:25 a.m. We do have an adult Sunday school class before that at 9:15, currently being taught by Dr. Rosamond Rodman, who is doing a fantastic series on death and grief. We are both in person and online, so however you link in with us, I encourage you to give us a shot where and how you can. Or, if Sunday service still feels like a little bit too much, there's an opportunity to gather with us this Friday on our front lawn to share in fellowship with one another while the city celebrates America's Independence Day. Whether you're feeling like celebrating America or not, it is always a good time to celebrate community. So come on out and meet your neighbors on our lawn. We'll have cookies and lemonade and hamburgers and hot dogs and bubbles and chalk and more stuff I'm forgetting because I only have so much brain space. But we got a big lawn, and I hope to see you there. And hey, whether or not I see you, whenever that might be, whatever form it takes, these things remain true. God made you special. God loves you very much. And so do I. Good night, everyone. Let me turn this off.